Hello there, welcome to Davey Explains, where I explain things from popular culture and politics and things around me in a way that an idiot can explain, because I'm the idiot that you can use to just show them it. All these videos are under 10 minutes long and they will explain different things. Well, this particular one is about Scottish independence as it's part of the playlist. So, last time we talked about Scotland's natural wealth. Well, the next thing we have to talk about is Scotland's exporting performance. To export something is to take something from your land and sell it to somebody in a different land. If I was to export, I don't know, this silly hat I wore in the last video, all I'd have to do is sell it to somebody from abroad and put it in the post to them. We're talking about this on a national level. So Scotland's exporting performance. Well, a major bonus for any nation's economy, to be frank with you, is the ability to export specialised manufacturing goods. And this is actually Scotland's, well, to be frank with you, it's one of Scotland's biggest strengths. In highly developed economies such as Scotland's, it takes advantages or the natural wealth, as we talked about last time, to develop specialisms that create high value export demand and that give us higher prices. This creates new jobs of higher quality and pays higher wages than otherwise. So let's have a look at what Scotland has in terms of exports. Well, how does it compare with other nations first? Well, examining the international exports of goods that all the UK does, judged by the HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, we see that Scotland's the only UK nation to have internationally exported more goods than it's imported since records began. In the past few years, Northern Ireland's caught up and generated a surplus in goods, but it persistently operates a deficit in the past. England and Wales always do this, and Northern Ireland has nearly always done this. So, an independent Scotland could be an exporting powerhouse for this reason. Scottish food and drink exports have risen by 22% since 2014, when the first IndyRef happened. Which, yeah, huge. Whisky was the largest food and drink export from the UK, and the industry's worth about £4.7 billion and makes up 21% of the UK's total food and drink exports. Scottish seafood exports were worth a massive £944 million in 2017, and I believe the figure went up nearly 10% in 2018. Scotland's non-EU exports of goods and services increased over 102% since 2002. Its international exports in goods and services have risen by 60% since then. In terms of its oil and gas exports, well, we're talking roughly 5 billion. In fact, the figure in 2016 was 4.65 billion pounds. It's been the only UK nation with an international trade surplus since records began. Its oil and gas supply chain exports almost matched oil and gas at 4.6 billion. So, did you know that Scotland's the only UK nation to have exported more goods? Yep, we've already gotten through that. In 2018, Scotland's surplus in international trade goods rose to 6.7%, to giving it a plus total, actually a surplus of £4.94 billion. So this is a good key strength, but how does that compare to other Northern European nations? Well, Denmark sets the gold standard, really. It's clearly a nation Scotland needs to aspire to be like, or at least to match in the medium to long term. It's worth noticing that it doesn't have anything close to Scotland's natural wealth, though. It's tiny by comparison to Scotland, and it doesn't really have that much in the way of natural wealth. It doesn't have a broad-based economy like Scotland does either. Achieving great to exporting ratio per head of nations such as Finland and Sweden, and being closer to Norway is quite the result for Scotland, it has to be said. So, let's have a look at the others. So, per head of population, the UK without Scotland exports £8,646 per head. Finland is on £13,475 per head. Sweden is at 15,726%. Scotland is at 17,456% too. It's £17,456 per head. So these are our observations. Scotland's goods exports are more than double those achieved by the rest of the UK. The rest of the UK's, particularly England's, international trade deficit is massive, and Brexit, quite frankly, is as we're now seeing a clear and present danger to our economic stability, given that our deficit would worsen. London's finance sector, which has played Russian roulette with our economy since the 90s, has been diminished. This has had a knock-on detrimental effect to compensate for England's poor trade figures through a surplus in international trade goods. Not even Scotland can save this, with all that it does. When it comes to exporting, Scotland's got many vital advantages and a lot of untapped potential. The effect of Scotland's ports closing, however, meant that goods are forced to travel further to be exported. This, with new danger of Brexit, means that Scottish exports and our economy are far more likely to thrive as an independent nation, or as part of the EU too. Although this is an area that comes of common concern because the EU's common agricultural policy, which is meant as a financial fair play between different countries, could mean that Scotland might not want to join the EU straight away. It might want to join the European Free Trade Agreement, and then after talking about the CAP, work out a way around that, because the CAP has caused a lot of people to vote Brexit. The farmers and fishermen of England voted for Brexit because of the common agricultural policy. So that might be a reason why Scotland, once independent, might think twice about the EU. However, it is a gigantic reason why Scotland really should go out on its own, financially speaking. The interesting thing is that one of the key bits of rhetoric you hear people on the union side of things is say Scotland can't afford to go independent. Well, when you look at the economic factors of what we trade in and what we trade in and out of Scotland, this is clearly not true. And if Scotland had power over had more ports and had power over its exports on its own, that number would skyrocket. So here you go, this English idiot explaining another reason for Scottish independence. Now, I hope you've been okay for the last 2 days since I last saw you. I hope you're all keeping fine. I hope you all wear a mask, because, you know, you're out in there's a pandemic going around. Wear a mask when you're outside. Stay indoors in your home as much as you can. Please wash your hands as much as you can. And yeah, hope you're all keeping well. The next video will go out on Tuesday, as these are going up every Tuesday and every Thursday until I either run out of material to work through, or we've had the election in Scotland in May. If you want to know who I'm voting for, I'm voting for the SNP. Have a lovely day. Hope you're all keeping safe. And like I said, please wear a mask. I've been Davey. You've been amazing. And I'll catch you soon.